In this video, I'm going to show you how to render HDRI with Quick Studio. First, we're going to add a light setup to have something to render. We go to Lighting, Add Setup, and I have one already selected. I'm going to select the object, Add Light Setup, and there we go. So there we have our setup to render. Let me close that, and now we have to click HDRI Setup. But before we do that, we have an option that is Active Object Location. If I have this enabled, the camera will be located in the active object, the object that is selected. Anyways, if it is not, you see here that it says otherwise 001 will be used. So we 1 meter high in the center of the scene. 1 unit, in my case, is in meters, so 1 meter high. Now what we have to do is click here in HDRI Setup, and you will see that a couple of things happened. For example, this render light measures has toggled to enable, because this is what we need to check so that all the lights are going to be visible in the render. If not, if we have this disabled, the lights will not be rendered. Then we have this light measure strength. This value is also very important because this is going to set the intensity of the light. It is recommended to leave this value with 0.5, but feel free to try other values. I'm going to leave it like that. Then we have this value that I should have set before clicking HDRI Setup. This is the resolution of the image. It was in 2K, that is fine for me. The next step is to render. I could click here, but I'm going to go to rendering, and I'm going to close this and disable the shader ball, because that was in the middle of the scene, so be careful with that. So you can see if I come back to layout and activate the extras, that we have the camera right here in the middle. Back to rendering, you see also that the resolution has changed to a 2:1 aspect ratio, and it has the 2K resolution that we saw before. And also we have this radiance HDR set to the file output. So we are ready to go. Let's render this image. It is a very simple scene, so it's going to be very fast. There we go. Now we save this image. You see here that it already has here the format, so I just put a name. Let's call it Studio. Save the image. And now I'm going to enable this again, the shader ball, and back to layout. And now we're going to test the HDRI we just rendered. But before that, let's reset to defaults. This is going to reset everything. It disables this as it is its default value. It lowers the light measure strength, so it is more comfortable to work in the viewport. And then it's also going to go back to the default resolution output for the render and the PNG format. So let's see, I'm going to disable the setup we had before. And now let's enable the HDRI. This was the previous world. Let's add a new one. And here we are going to choose HDRI, and we open this file that we have just saved, Studio HDR, and we are done. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and thank you for watching.